Alright, it feels like everyone's talking about it right now. Baby Reindeer, Netflix's biggest show of the year. I touched on this show briefly in my previous video, and I literally just finished watching it only a couple of days ago. It is about Richard Gadd, a comedian. It's based on a true story. He plays Donnie, a struggling comedian. After a very simple act of kindness, he ends up getting stalked and SA'd by the character Martha, who is played by Jessica Gunning, and she does an incredible job of portraying this character, terrifyingly so. The thing that's captured everyone is the fact that this is based on a true story. And ironically, once fans had watched this, they went mad and went and did the same thing that Martha in the show did. Fans tried to hunt down the real life people behind these characters. And Richard Gadd came out on social saying, please don't do that, this is not the point of the show. And as I said in my previous video, I feel like this is really rare to see the depiction of a male being harassed by a female and also SA'd by a female. So after the internet sleuths went crazy trying to find the real life Martha, she actually outed herself. And today, literally just hours ago when I'm filming this, she has done an interview with Piers Morgan. And I'm just as bad as the other fans because I'm now hooked on this drama and I need to watch this interview. So I thought I'd react to it in today's video. I really want to try and go into this with an open mind.
The show shows you coming in to a London pub, you've just named the pub, and he's working behind the bar, Richard Gadd, and he offers you a cup of tea. Is that what happened?
No, that's not correct. He didn't offer me a cup of tea. Nobody gets anything free from the Holly Arms. I was in for a meal with a drink of lemonade, and I was very, very hungry. I'm diabetic, so very hungry. So that's
And did you talk to him?
He interrupted a conversation. There was another barman there, and he said, "Oh, you're Scottish," and basically commandeered the conversation. I was talking to somebody. It's pretty rude to interrupt. So he seemed to be obsessed with me from that moment onwards.
I mean, just speaking to you, I've never met you before, but you do look and sound very similar to the actress in the drama.
I haven't seen the actress. We're both Scottish. We've both got dark hair. She's considerably younger than me. I think she's about 18 years younger than me.
She's already kind of contradicting herself, to be honest. She said, I haven't seen the actress, she's got dark hair, then goes on to explain what the actress looks like.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 58. I'm a year younger than you. And I think Martha, Jessica, the actress, is about 40, 38, 40.
I don't want to pick up on every little thing, but isn't it strange that she knew Piers Morgan's age? It's almost like if she is the stalker, that maybe that sort of fixation on certain things. Before she came here, she did all this research on Piers Morgan so that if she needed to, she'd have some weaponry, I guess, against him, maybe. She knew his age straight away. Like, I don't know Piers Morgan's age. maybe I'm overthinking it.
It says that you told Richard Gadd that he looked like a baby reindeer toy you once had as a child, hence the name of the show.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I appear to have written most of the show in my sleep. I dressed.
Did you have a baby reindeer
I
toy?
had a toy reindeer.
So that's true.
And he'd shaved his head. That bit is true. And there were reindeers in the shops. It was Christmas time or something. It was a joke. So I have inadvertently penned the name of the show.
Right, but that is true.
That's true. That's a true fact.
Okay, so she's admitted to that. That's interesting. I also can't help but think, because I'm sure Richard Gadd's probably not going to come out and comment on this. I'd love to hear his reaction on it, obviously. What if this is just someone trying to get 5 seconds of fame? But I mean, in saying that, there is a lot of tweets and stuff saying, can you hang my curtains, atting Richard Gadd from back in like 2014, 2015, the period where this is supposed to have happened.
Whilst bantering with you, Richard Gadd told you he'd like to hang your curtains. Is that true?
This, I think, was a Holy Arms joke about curtains and a lot of sexual innuendo.
He did say that?
Yeah.
Is it true that you caught Richard Gadd looking through your window after he followed you home one night?
False.
It is strange that she doesn't say that he looked through a window, like stalked her back, I guess. Because, I mean, in appearing on this interview, you'd think she'd want to go at Richard Gadd and point out all the bad things that he did, which he made clear in the show that he wasn't perfect, and that he did do bad things that, didn't help the situation.
But the Netflix show has him doing that?
Yes, I believe so. I've been told that.
Yes, I believe so. I've been told that because I haven't watched it. I haven't watched the show. Take a drink every time she says she hasn't watched the show.
In the course of your relationship with Richard Gadd, you send him 41,000 emails, 350 voice messages, 744 tweets, 48 Facebook messages, and 106 letters.
That's simply not true. If somebody was sending somebody 41,000 emails or something, they'd be doing how many a day? Loads.
Well, they'd be obsessively
Yeah,
contacting
yeah,
somebody.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What
None
did
of
you
that's
send
true.
him?
No, none of that's true. I don't think I sent him anything.
You never sent him anything?
No. I think there may have been a couple of emails exchanging, but that was it. Just jokey banter emails.
It's strange that people have managed to dig up all these old tweets as well. Like, she hasn't been very good in covering her tracks and hiding it all. Like, especially considering this whole series has come out, you'd be thinking you'd want to get rid of any traces on the internet of your interactions with him. But yeah, it just proves that there was some kind of interaction, but I guess we'll never actually know what that interaction was.
You would say you only sent him a handful of emails. You never texted him.
No.
You tweeted him 18 times, you think. You never sent a Facebook message.
That's
And
right.
you wrote him one letter.
Yeah.
So why have they got all these details here which are supported?
Who is they? Netflix.
Who has
Which
sent
is
all
not
these things?
correct. So I'm sorry.
Who has sent all this stuff to him?
I've no idea. I think he's probably made it up himself.
Like, it does make me wonder as well if maybe she's at the point where she's so deep in this that she even believes her own lies. But yeah, like I say, I really want to have an open mind with this and not just think that she's the bad person. Because who knows, maybe some of this was played up a little bit for TV, you know? Like, Netflix and the show have called this a true story, not based on true events. Like, it's true story, like it's fact, basically.
I mean, you could prove, I guess, quite easily it wasn't you.
Correct.
Because it'd all be on your computer.
Yeah, correct. That's right.
Would you be happy for someone to look at that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Because they're all sent from an iPhone.
Yes, so...
But they believe it wasn't actually an iPhone ever being used.
Meaning what
Meaning
kind
that
of
someone
phone?
was hiding the fact that they were actually not using it. They were pretending it was from an iPhone.
I don't really understand that.
Well, people can mask where they're sending stuff from.
Okay, right. I'm not technology whiz kid of the year. I wasn't doing that either.
I don't know if she's like just playing dumb there, or I'm personally not believing a lot of this. I also wouldn't find it hard to believe that, like I say, there's some parts that were twisted for the show just to make it naturally more entertaining, you know? It could just be nervousness. Piers Morgan's firing questions at her, but I just feel like she's grasping for answers sometimes. Sometimes it feels like she's really having to think about it and go, oh, you know, I did this, like, and just it's coming into her head as she speaks.
If the police looked at this, and if you sue, for example, then this will go to a court of law, and then on discovery, people will look into all this. The phone company will be asked about evidence of all the text messages. The internet providers will provide all the backup for the emails. Facebook will be asked about the Facebook messages, and so on. So all of this would come out.
Exactly. She's threatening to sue Netflix. She reckons she categorically is going to sue Netflix. But yeah, that's literally the thing, is that if it goes to a court of law, which I honestly can't imagine it getting that far, like surely Netflix or Richard Gadd will just pay her out. I don't know. Does that work? Give her some money. Like, Richard Gadd's probably going to be doing all right after this. But yeah, if it goes to a court of law, then it's all going to come out. So why lie about it? Like, and because she knows so much about law and being a lawyer, she should very much know this. There's just no way in my mind that she hasn't gone and watched the series, though. Like, surely you'd be curious to be like, what have they said about me? How have they depicted me? Like,
Did you ever attend his stand-up?
I think I went to one. It was a long, long time
And you
ago.
never shouted out or anything?
Why would I do that? No,
I don't know.
No, I mean...
it's also like every time something's brought up, she goes, no, I didn't do that. And then she goes, oh, I might have done one thing, like, and sort of backtracks on it, which is also slightly strange, you'd think.
Did you ever attack Richard Gadd's girlfriend because you were jealous?
No, I don't think he had a girlfriend. I think he's homosexual. But no, I have never been to his house or attacked any girlfriend or anything like that.
Now, again, there is obviously a resemblance between...
Do you think so?
Well, a bit, but
That's hardly flattering.
Well, I don't mean to flatter you or not flatter you. I just think there is a resemblance, you know, having met you, and you both speak Scottish people. Yeah. But the fundamental point of this is, did you take part in that? So did you go to jail? Did you have a
No,
trial?
of course not.
She doesn't want to be seen to be looking like the actress. I mean, they don't look exactly the same, but there's definitely characteristics and similarities there that you can quite clearly see.
So if you'd ever received a criminal conviction for anything, it would be on police files?
Yes.
And what you're saying is you've never been even charged with an offence?
No.
let alone the one that they
Yes,
enacted.
I mean, this is 9.5 months in jail is pretty serious.
Did Netflix ever contact you?
No, no one's contacted me.
Never.
Never.
Did Richard Gadd tell you what he was doing?
No, I had worked it out when I saw the festival Baby Reindeer advert on BBC.
The Edinburgh Festival,
News,
which
the
is the
Edinburgh
show you
Festival.
did.
I just happened to see that. I was looking up the news for something else.
Because that's where he
I just
honed-
happened to see that.
Well, that's where he
I just happened to see that. I had to really focus on that. I happened to see it, okay?
says the whole thing started because he felt sorry for you, and that's why he befriended you.
Your staff said that to me in the waiting room. This is a lot of nonsense. I've got lots of friends.
What did you talk to him about?
It was just a Holly Arms banter.
There's the big similarity there, actually, from the character in the show, is her saying, "Oh, I've got a lot of friends, blah, blah."
I should never have gone in that bar.
Do you wish you never had?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
How long did you know him for, Richard Gadd?
2-3 months. 2-3 months at maximum. He only worked there on certain days.
And did you always go on the days he worked there?
No, I've been in there on different days.
Felt like a bit of a slip up from her there. He only worked on certain days. If you'd only really come into contact with him for a few months, barely knew him as she's trying to make out here, she surely wouldn't know his roster.
The Sun reported an interview with Laura Ray, who you've referenced, who accused you of inappropriate behaviour whilst you worked with her. Now, the background to this is that you came into contact with the late Glasgow MP Jimmy Ray, who died aged 78 in 2013, and his solicitor wife Laura, who was 62, when she was a former Labour Party member. Mrs Ray said that she gave Aberdeen University law graduate you did graduate from Aberdeen?
Yes, yes.
With a law degree. A trainee role at the legal firm McPhail Lawrence Partnership in 1997.
She lured me away from another firm. She headhunted me from another firm because she needed someone to do employment law. And I'm pretty good at employment law, so...
She said that she had to sack you days later because you were completely incapable of behaving yourself.
I walked. Her staff were really, really rude to me. Most people, half the Labour Party, had been up there at one point or another and walked.
She then said that following you leaving, obviously very quickly, that you then harassed her.
I didn't know this, so I assume it's the story that is mentioned in the show, how when he Google searched her name, it came up with these articles of other sort of stalking and harassment. But yeah, that's very interesting because that shows that's not just one person's opinion. It's only really Richard Gadd's story we've heard here, but this is someone who actually employed her saying very similar things, which is surely strange.
Mrs Ray said she was so frightened she issued workers at her firm with personal alarms. You were then served an interim interdict to stop you from contacting the lawyer or her politician husband. Daily Record
she
reported that.
messed up, I know, and I've still to speak to David about that, the author of that Daily Record article. She didn't. She messed up because I went into the Court of Session, the High Court in Edinburgh, to get countrywide interdicts, an interdict and an injunction in Scotland and England because I was going to move to London anyway. She mucked up.
So you went into court to get them yourself?
Yes, but there
Against
was
who?
no need against Laura Walker and Jimmy Ray.
But she said one was served on you.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
An interim
we have checked
interdict.
this out.
And again, there would be a public record of
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Why would two people who have no contact with each other at all, Laura Ray and Richard Gadd, why would they both portray you as a very unpleasant?
There you go. Literally what I just said. It is strange that now you've got two people that are saying similar accusations.
Have you had relationships
Boyfriends, yeah.
with men? I mean, if you don't mind me being pure,
I'm heterosexual.
yeah. I mean, how many relationships have you had?
I told the staff that relationships were out of bounds. A lot more than Richard Gadd has, I would say.
I mean, he had a lot.
Quite a few.
Right.
Well, I don't know if he had a lot. I don't know. I mean...
Making the claim, oh, I've had more than Richard Gadd has, and then going, I don't know how many he's had though.
See, now you're going, here's my point. Now you're going
Yeah.
public, then the men that you've dated over the years will see this.
Yeah.
There'll be a...
Yes, now this would be interesting. If she supposedly dated other people, which I kind of highly doubt it, because if she is like depicted in the series, she's probably quite on her lonesome, sadly. Will they come out? Will they come out and go, well,
And I'm not worried about the current one because he's a lawyer and he...
So you currently have a
believes me.
boyfriend?
Yeah.
He's a lawyer
Yeah.
in London.
Doesn't matter where he is.
It does feel like one of those stories that she told as depicted in the show of like, oh yeah, you've got a boyfriend, he's a lawyer, like, could just be a story. Could be a facet of her imagination, if you will.
No, I understand, but how long have you been...
5 years.
You've been in a 5-year relationship.
Yeah, so I don't...
So what does he think
I don't
of
want
this?
to drag him in. He thinks this is horrendous. All of my lawyer friends do.
I mean, okay, so we've done this now. Surely we can leave everyone alone out of the baby reindeer thing. If this goes to a court of law, it's going to be absolutely fascinating. But let's leave everyone else alone to do with it. She's put herself forward. I mean, she kind of had no choice really, but she's put herself forward to do an interview and speak. But yeah, let's please not be looking at everyone else, because you're just as bad as the character Martha or Fiona here, because having, stalking a stalker, basically, the irony in it is wild.
It seems to me that it may be possible that you have communicated all this stuff with him, but that doesn't mean you did the more serious thing.
That's true.
It doesn't mean you attacked his girlfriend. It doesn't mean you smashed up a bar. Yeah. It doesn't mean you did any of those things or threatened anybody. It just, yes, you had a relationship with this guy and you did contact him a lot.
I knew this guy. I didn't contact him a lot. I've never said that in this interview at all.
No. But but interestingly, for me, as an interviewer, and I'm just trying to get to the truth. You understand?
No.
I honestly not trying to
see that. It's your show.
I'm not trying to trip you up. I'm just trying to get to the truth.
I see that.
He has put his version out there, and the world has watched it.
Absolutely.
Millions and millions of people around the world have had Richard Gadd's version.
I know.
And I'm simply saying to you that you have a chance here to concede that some of these things might be possible, but that doesn't mean the more serious things.
I like this because it's sort of saying like, hey, it's all good to admit that you did some of these things, but you don't have to admit to all the serious stuff. He's sort of trying to lure her into a false sense of security in some ways. It's interesting technique from him there. But in saying that, she has actually admitted to a couple of these things and gone, oh yeah, like I might have done this. So sort of on the verge of admitting to it.
If Richard Gadd is watching this, what's your message to him?
Leave me alone, please. Get a life, get a proper job. I am horrified at what you've done.
Very, very fascinating. And I'm going to be fascinated to see whether she really does go through with suing Netflix. Because if she does, it's all going to come out. But honestly, I don't think it'll go to trial. I don't think she'll actually sue him. I feel like she needed to do something like this to sort of to prove her character, I guess, and try and defend herself, which she has every right to do, obviously. But I can't see it going that far. I do feel like she's kind of going, oh, I'm going to sue Netflix and making this big thing, but she probably won't. Like, the admin of having to sue Netflix, who could be asked with that?
In relation to the 106 letters that he and Netflix say you sent, well, here's my point. You've admitted sending him one. And that presumably was a handwritten letter.
Could it be, are you thinking I was maybe mistaken, that I maybe did? And
No. I'm just saying, if we accept that the one that you admit to sending is in your own handwriting, he has another 105 letters in your handwriting.
Nonsense. It's nonsense.
Are you prepared for him to show that one?
He's maybe forged things. I mean, people forge a lot of things nowadays.
You think he could successfully write 105 letters to himself?
Well, I certainly didn't.
No, but you admit to sending one. My point is, if it turns out the other 105 are exactly the same handwriting, wouldn't that point to maybe...
we would obviously bring in handwriting experts. I didn't do it.
You only ever sent one letter?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't sent that guy 106 letters.
Do you still email people?
What do you mean?
Do you send emails?
Yeah.
Do you have the same email address you've always had?
I had 6 at one point.
Why?
Because I like to keep people on different phones and different emails.
Six different email accounts?
Maybe 4. I think it was 4 to 6, yeah. It's
four,
easier.
4 or
it's
6?
easier.
That's wild. That's like saying, oh yeah, I've got like 6 burner phones, but it's all good. Like, nothing dodgy about it. It's just one for each mate.
Or was it 4 or 6?
I can't remember. Probably 6.
How many do you use today?
I had 4 phones. I've got 1 today, but I only email select friends. So
often in this interview, things she said have just not been definitive. It's, oh, I think that this happened. Oh, probably this amount. Like, it's so vague. That's the thing that makes it hard to believe and hard to trust, is when she's so vague about it.
I like keeping people on separate phones as well. And maybe that makes me a maniac or a stalker or something.
Were you ever in love with him?
Yes. Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
No. No.
It's not a question of, by his own admission, he has said that he led you on at times. And he clearly
I gave him
was...
the brush off. He asked me to sleep with him with a big green spot in his face one day. I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
He asked you to do what?
He asked me to sleep with him. He said, would I like my curtains fixed? And I laughed. And he said, that's a euphemism. Do you want me to come home with you? And I said, I've got a boyfriend. I don't fancy little boys without jobs. That sounds awful. That sounds really, really callous, but, you know.
People will watch this who've watched the Netflix series, and like me, they will be trying to work out where the truth lies. It seems to me that either you're innocent in the way that you've claimed to be, and you've been horribly defamed here. I think at the very least, the Netflix duty of care and Richard Gadd's duty of care has been a spectacular failure.
I agree.
Right, regardless of anything else. Regardless of your culpability of anything, the duty of care has failed because people identified you incredibly quickly.
Yeah. He makes a good point at the end of this about Netflix's duty of care and the fact that she's basically been outed in this, and they've made it way too obvious. Like, people have found her straight away, which is going to cause her a lot of hell. I'm sure people are probably online bloody abusing her because that's what people do on the internet. So I do get it from that perspective. All right, well, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Crazy. I'll link the full interview in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. As of filming this, I'm not sure when I'm going to post this, but 3 hours ago this was uploaded, already 1.9 million views. That shows just how huge this story is and how fascinated people are at the moment. But like I say, let's leave these people alone now. We've seen the series. She didn't really have much choice, but she's outed herself and come out and done this interview. But let's not continue with this. I don't think she'll sue Netflix. If she does, maybe there'll be another video because I'm going to be fascinated about it. Please do leave a comment and let me know what you think about the interview. Do you think she's lying? Do you think she's telling the truth? Hit subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!